So recently, a story has been reported that allows us to get a look into what Donald Trump is thinking in regards to all these potential criminal convictions that he's facing. Um, it's from the New Republic. Trump thinks he could be convicted before the election, and he has a plan. While legal experts and the media debate the possibility of a criminal conviction for Donald Trump, one man appears nearly certain that he will get locked up: Trump himself. Sources close to the former president say that in private, Trump is bracing for the very real possibility that he'll serve time if the January 6th case comes to trial this spring. But should that be delayed, he faces the possibility of another conviction in the Stormy Daniels hush money case in New York, so sources close to Trump's team told Axios. With all those possibilities in mind, Trump has apparently been cooking up his own way to spin the tale in what might be the most unprecedented White House campaigning strategy of all time. Trump believes he still has a shot at leading the nation if he can convince voters that the endeavor to hold him accountable is a political pile-on. To do so, he plans to attend most of his upcoming trials in person so that he can stage a series of courtroom dramas that rub away at the gravity of his charges, according to the outlet. This means more bench-side tantrums and more raving rants outside of the courthouse. You can't be defensive or never talk about it because that just makes you look guilty, a source told Axion. Your only option is to play it up. It's a never before seen re-election tactic that will see Trump attempt to sway jurors and swing voters simultaneously, capitalizing on headlines even as he sits hundreds of miles away from the well-worn campaign trail. The January 6th trial, which was originally scheduled to begin on March 4th, has since been removed entirely from the public court calendar after months of grandstanding and challenges by Trump's legal team. While it's unclear when the trial will be rescheduled, the appeals process would push it until late spring or summer, past the Republican nomination, or if delays continue to mount closer to Election Day. So I think Trump is finished. I think he's done. I think it's over. And I realize that sounds like a big prediction at this point because there's still, a lot of unknowns. Still a lot of we haven't reached that point yet where he has been convicted and is sentenced to prison or anything. But I don't think he can get out of this without criminal charges. I just do not. I think the Mar-a-Lago case, where he clearly stole government documents and then lied about it, you can't really argue with that. That's pretty airtight. Stormy Daniel case, it's so-so. The election interference, again, that's pretty open and shut. Not as open and shut as the documents case, definitely. But I think the intent of him and his staff and his sycophants to overturn the election is fairly well documented and evident at this point. And if Trump is leaning towards, I'm going to get convicted, then I think it's pretty much open and shut. Trump's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, as we all know. But if he sees the writing on the wall, and he's the one who's sitting in these courtrooms, he's the one getting all this information, based on what prosecutors are saying and doing now. So he's in the know, so to speak. And I just think the question is, like, how long will this process take? What sort of punishment will he receive? And how much damage can he and his supporters do to the public discourse in the meantime? I think those are the big questions that should be on everybody's mind. Because I don't think, if you were convicted, I don't think you'd be pardoned. I think we live in too polarized, can't talk. Our country's too polarized, I think, for Trump to be pardoned by anybody, least of all like Biden or Harris or someone. He's just committed so many crimes. Again, 91 criminal charges. You can't come back from 91 criminal charges. I mean, will all of them stick? Probably not, but one of them, at least a couple are going to stick. Chris Christie has said he thinks Trump's going to get convicted. There have been other even conservative people who are like trying to say, yeah, he's not even eligible to run anymore for what he did. So that's not like, when you hear that, it's not just liberals saying that. There's conservatives saying, oh yeah, he's just ineligible at this point. So there are even conservatives now who are being like, yeah, Trump's in for it. So I'm reasonably confident. I would bet money that Trump will end up with criminal charges. And I also think that will, even if the criminal charges don't come about before the election, I think has such bad press right now. I don't think he can win moderate voters. I don't think he can win like suburban women. I think there's a lot of groups, despite how bad Joe Biden's doing, there's a lot of groups that Trump would have to win to beat Joe Biden, and I just don't think he can do it. I think he's a one-trick pony. His image in the public sphere, I think, is getting worse and worse by the day. I mean, so is Joe Biden's, but Joe Biden isn't facing 91 criminal charges, and that's sort of, I think, what it boils down to. Even if he's not convicted before the election, I think people are going to look at that and go, "Yep, well, that guy, he hasn't been convicted yet, but where there's smoke, there must be fire." Like there has to be something to all of that, and I'm probably gonna not vote for that guy. I mean, the MAGA fanatics, they'll vote for him no matter what. But the average person, I don't think looks at Trump's legal troubles right now. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's reasonable. If the average person had 91 criminal charges, that's fine. No, they look at that and they think 91 criminal charges. That's insane. That's insane. So, yep, I said it now. I said it February 7th, 2024. I've been saying this even longer, but I think Trump is finished. I think he's going to be getting criminal charges, and we just have to wait to see how long it takes for those charges to catch up to him. Whether he'll be like sent to prison, or whether he'll be put in house arrest, or and then whether political violence ends up being, whether the MAGA fanatics end up acting out violently, attacking other politicians and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, we're all, as everyone likes to say, we're in uncharted territory, and we're not out of the woods yet. Like, I don't want people to be complacent, but I think we have to like read the writing on the wall. I think we have to accept that Trump's, he's gotten away with a lot over the years. He's gotten away with a lot. He knows how to weasel his way out of almost anything. But I think his actions are finally going to catch up to him, and that gives me some comfort at night.